So today we're going to be talking about the case of Amber Tuccaro, and I want to say a little prologue before we get into the video, like for context. Also, this is going to be a series on my channel, so I really want you to understand the situation. So, for context, there is a current human rights crisis in Canada and the United States where a large percentage of missing and murdered women are Indigenous. It is called the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women's Crisis, or MMIW. In Canada, First Nation women make up 3% of the country's population, but 10% of its murder victims. The epicenter to this is Highway 16 in Canada between Prince Rupert and Prince George, which is about 49 miles north of where Amber Tuccaro was last seen trying to hitch a ride. It is the site of a lot of kidnapped and murdered women due to the unfortunate rise in Indigenous people hitchhiking from remote areas. On this stretch of road, it is nicknamed the Highway of Tears. If you hear sounds in the background, that's probably either my cats or cars on the road because I live on a highway. So I apologize for all the background noise. Okay, so Amber Tuccaro was born January 3rd, 1990. Amber Alyssa Tuccaro was a Mikisew Cree First Nation mother who went missing in 2010. She struggled to provide for her son financially. She and her son moved between her family's home and a local women's shelter. Through all of this, she was very close to her family, especially her mother, Tootsie Tuccaro. At the shelter, Amber met a woman named Evangeline, and the two decided to go on a spontaneous trip to Edmonton, Alberta. They booked a room outside the city at the Nisku Place Motel. She was last seen on August 18th, 2010 in Nisku, Alberta. She told Evangeline that she wanted to go into the city, and Evangeline agreed to watch her son for her. Amber's mother became worried when Amber suddenly stopped communicating with her via text. The two usually talked throughout the day, and the next morning Evangeline contacted Tootsie, Amber's mother, and told her that Amber had left in the night and hadn't returned. Tootsie called the RCMP to report Amber as missing, and they did not take her seriously. Tootsie claims that they said, well, maybe she's out partying and we'll call or whatever. The RCMP did not talk to her again for another 4 months. The RCMP said they had a sighting of Amber Tuccaro on August 28, 2010, and closed the case and removed her from the National Missing Persons database. They did this without actually confirming if the sighting was legit or not. A month later, Tootsie had Amber re-added to the list. Tootsie investigated the belongings Amber left at the hotel personally and discovered that the RCMP had thrown them away. 2 years passed, and in 2012, the police released a recording of a phone call that Amber had with a loved one who was behind bars at the time, which is why it was recorded. And it featured an unknown male's voice on the recording and hoping it would help identify the man. Sorry, that was my cats. Okay. I will not add it in this video. I've heard it in other videos talking about Amber Tuccaro's case, and it just makes me feel so uncomfortable when I listen to it. I'm not going to include it here. But if you do want to hear that, there are other videos out there, and you can. But I'm not comfortable with that in this video. Some women claimed that they knew the man who is a convicted sex offender. They all gave the same name. So these multiple women gave the same name of this sex offender. But the RCMP claim that he is not a person of interest. Her remains were discovered on September 1st, 2012, when horseback riders found them in the same area, 17 minutes away from her hotel, and this was a discovery made a few days after the phone call was released. There were also 4 bodies found in the area where Amber's body was found, leading some to believe that she could be a victim of a serial killer, due to all 4 being Indigenous women who were hitchhiking. In 2019, the RCMP apologized to the Tuccaro family. There was also an and 20-page report found that the RCMP investigation into Amber's disappearance was deficient. Tootsie Tuccaro is now raising Amber's son Jacob. Her case remains unsolved, unfortunately. The Tuccaro family has said, "We're never going to give up, ever. We're not going anywhere, and he needs to know that. The people who are not coming forward and know who he is, they're just as guilty." So, in the description of this video, I'm going to put the Justice for Amber Tuccaro Facebook page, the MMIW website, and please, if you have any information, call the proper authorities. Thank you guys for watching.